What is up, YouTube? KM888 here, and I'm back again with some more Pendulum Magician news, deck profiles, whatever that you want to call this video. First things first, I'm sorry that it took so long to upload a new video. I've been roaming off a couple of regionals, locals, playtesting a lot. Been pushed with my nose on the facts a couple of times. About a bad build, stuff like that. And I did all of that just to compare the current lists that we actually have for Pendulum Magician. In my eyes, there are a couple of good lists. You have the Yuga or the Azathoth build. I'm gonna count that as one because it's actually serving the same purpose. You have the standard list with or without Goliath. Then there's the Guard Dragon list that focuses now a lot harder on summoning both the LP, the Agar Pain, and then going to the Hieratic Link. And there's also the Orcus build, 60 card variant most of the time, so yeah. I think those four lists are actually the best right now in comparison to everything else that you can do about Pendulum. But I'm gonna go over a deck profile at a time. So today there's this one, the Yuga build. I'm going to share my experiences, what the plus sides are in comparison to the other variants, and I'm gonna share my experiences on the regional, why I picked certain card choices, and so on. The deck profile might be a little bit longer because of that. Once again, like that happens a lot with me. But this time I'm also going to share the deck profile in a picture on my Facebook page. So if you go down in the description, you can click on my Facebook page, Mr. KM888, and you can just go to my Facebook page and the picture is right there. So if you want to see a quick picture, go there. If you want to hear the explanations about it, the video is perfect for you guys. So yeah. First things first, the regional I took this with was a regional with 172 people. I had to test it in 8 rounds. It was actually quite fun. I went 4-2-2, 4 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. The draws were unfortunate, but yeah, you never know how the tournament would progress if you didn't get a draw. So yeah, in general, I learned a lot on the deck and what I should have cut, what I should have made, stuff like that. So yeah, first things first. Still triple Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. I hear a lot of people like screaming like, don't run this card, it's bad against Thunder Dragons. Sure, if you're in a region where Thunder Dragon is like really popular, where like you know that more than 50% of the player base is gonna play Thunder Dragon, maybe it would be a good idea to cut this, go for Curtain Raisers instead, which I'm not playing any of those. But for me, there's like, I've had 8 rounds and I faced 1 Thunder Dragon. Even at that matchup, I still succeeded in using a Cerberus after I outed the Colossuses that he had on the board. So the card is still good, so you don't really have to cut it. I was using 2 at the regional. I actually regretted not having 3 because the card is just bunkers, getting Jackal King, going from there. It's a really good out against the Salamangreat boards as well, if you can force out a Roar. If you get this on board, you can just banish their monsters so the Bailings can't trigger. It's a really good card at the moment. I don't think you should cut it just because of the Thunder Dragon matchup, because Salamangreat and Sky Strikers will be more prevalent in the long run. But if you're like really afraid of Thunder Dragon, I can see people cutting this down, but you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. It's just consistency to have it. So yeah. Also, like going first. If you're going first against Thunder Dragon, this card is still really good. Sure, Ash Blossom is everywhere, but the deck is 40 cards, so you have a really good chance of actually opening another, like any other starter card. And you don't have to go for the Cerberus play first. You can lure out the Ash, go for Cerberus afterwards, still get your plays. It's amazing. Double Jackal King. I've got the idea of the Basilisk in this build right now. This is more consistent. I am playing Desires, and having 2 Jackal King just make sure you get one. So yeah. Triple Chronograph card is the nuts. You want, if you have your opening hand, you want to see this like every single time. It's crazy. Like in combination with the Cerberus, it's even more amazing because you can go Cerberus, add the Jackal King, reveal this special it together with the Jackal King. And as soon as you scale, they can't use Ghost Ogre on your Electromite, they can't use Veiler, they can't Ash you anymore, so you're free to play Desires from that point, stuff like that. It's amazing. The one Time Gazer Magician, actually in the tournament it actually came up a couple of times where I normal summoned this just before I put my scales up. Just because I knew that my opponent had things like Twin Twisters, Storm Dusters, like stuff like that, and having the Time Gazer is actually pretty fun because the first time they use stuff like that on your scales, they can't be destroyed. So the Time Gazer actually is some kind of protection for your Pendulum play. It's still really good to have that card, even if it's the brick. In some matchups, it actually works out. So yeah. Also, this card is needed in the deck to have a level 3 Magician, just in case you need to go for the Meteor Burst to get into your rank 7 play, because yeah, Kali Yuga is everything for this build, so yeah. For the rest of the Magicians, Triple Harmonizing, the one you always want to see, point. I mean, this card is bunkers. Triple Wisdom Eye, best card against the Thunder Dragon matchup, I guess, because you don't need to search. And then for the rest of the Magicians, the one Purple Poison, one Black Fang, one Oath. I've had people asking me why I still run the Purple Poison since I'm running Desires. Like, why not run double Oath, because it's more prevalent to have 2 of that in case you banish one with Desires. But I really like the versatility of having one each, and most of the time I try to search out my scales before using Desires. Just so I can't banish them. But yeah, most cases the Purple Poison is there just for floodgates, to get rid around pesky monsters. It's actually an out for the Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, for number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon. It's a really good card to when you're going second, so yeah. Now for the level 7 Magicians, the Jankei and the Dragon Pit. Dragon Pit Magician was so good. Like, at the regional, I haven't told this yet, I only won one die roll. And the die roll I won was against Cyber Dragons. So that's value right there. So yeah, a little bit sarcasm, but okay. I never got to go first, and having the Dragon Pit against Salamangreat just means that you can scale up and use this card's effect to try and lure out the Roar while dumping your Dragon Pit, and that's while dumping your Dark Worm, and that's actually really good. So yeah, that's it for the Magicians. For the rest of the monsters, Triple Dark Worm, Double Gate Zero. I don't think I have to explain this. Dark Worm is one of the better cards for Pendulum right now still, and just having 2 of the Gate Zero, it's not a problem. I am playing Allures as well on top of the Desires, and having 2 Gate Zero actually means you have more level 7s in the deck, so it's another way to get to your Kali Yuga play. That's it for all the Pendulum monsters. I am playing 2 more regular monsters, but it's not a lot. One Phantom Knight of Ancient Cloak and one the Phantom Knight of Silent Boots. In your combo, you can, if you want for consistency purposes, you can only run like the one Cloak or the one Boots. You don't really care. In general, Cloak is better than Boots for this build. But I really want to make Deco Talker. There's still a lot of Sky Striker players where I'm at, and things like Twin Twister, Pancratops, they're always there for, and in the Kali Yuga build, I feel like Deco Talker is really a necessity. It's good against the Sky Striker matchup, as I said. It protects your Kali Yuga play if you need it. It's just really good, and having the Boots in the deck on top of the Cloak means you can send the Cloak with a Link monster, use this card's effect to add the Boots, which you can special summon. It's just a free body to link with the Electromite to go into Deco Talker, and then you can just banish the boots to get the second card that you wanted. Anyways, so yeah, I feel like having both of these is actually what you need to do in the Kali Yuga build. But that's it for the monsters. No Destrudo, no hand traps, nothing of the sorts. I was citing the Thanos Dragon, the Phantasme, during the tournament, and I cited it in like every game, and it was good, it worked out, stuff like that. But I tried to main deck it, and then it started bricking apparently, and a guy on Dueling Book, also friended him on Facebook recently, he shoved me onto the facts, I guess, and I bricked a couple of times and he helped me, and yeah, eventually I came to the conclusion that this build is just the most consistent to do your plays, and yeah, at that point, anything of the irregular stuff is actually not needed into the deck. So yeah, no Phantasmes, no hand traps, and no Destrudo as well. At Regional, I never went into Destrudo to make my Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. I literally never made Odd Eyes Meteor Burst because I just had Kali Yuga, or they had enough hand traps to prevent it anyway, and Destrudo never came up. So yeah, just like having the Destrudo, the additional dragon in your deck to send with Dragon Shrine, it wasn't a necessity as much as you might think, and I just felt that the consistency of having it like this is way better than the possible option that you're going to draw the Shrine from the Electromite. And sure, that happens a lot, I know, but in general, you don't need a Destrudo, so yeah. For spells, as I said, Dragon Shrine, I'm playing it at 2. 40 card build, I like it at 2 then, I don't want to see a third. Foolish Burial is the third in that regard, but it's also good because you can send spellcasters to revive with Black Fangs, so there's always that. Triple Pendulum Call. I'm not worried about Thunder Dragon matchup. Like if they go first and you see this card, yeah, tough luck, you can't use it. You still have a lot of other cards that you can use, and you just have to make do with what you have at that point. So Triple Pendulum Call in a 40 card build is actually really nice, really solid. Triple Desires, double Allure. It's just consistency. I'd love to play the third Allure, but then I have to cut another card, and I feel that the consistency of the deck right now is really good, and I don't really want to cut anything at all. So yeah, double Allure, Triple Desires. It just helps around Thunder Dragon matchup. These are cards that get you into your side as well, and that's actually really nice about this. So yeah. And then the final two cards of the deck, it's actually pretty easy to find out. It's the Rank Up Magic and the Shade Brigandine. You're using these two cards to make sure you get your Kali Yuga play with the Rank Up Magic, and the Shade Brigandine makes sure that, like, in more than half of the times you can make either a Dweller or a Time Star next to, a Time Thief next to it. And I always make either one of these two next to the Kali Yuga build, because the Dweller is good in the Salamangreat matchup, and the Time Thief is great for like any other matchup where Dweller isn't good. So you just steal their cards, and if it's a spell, you get an additional draw, which still is like an enormous help. It's crazy. But yeah, the two targets for the PK engine. For the extra deck, you guys probably are going to shoot me for some choices, but I'm going to explain them pretty well. First of all, the Odd Eyes package. Still playing the Vortex Dragon. If you're going second, you need this. It's better than going into the Kali Yuga play when going second. Like against Salamangreat, you summon this, you bounce one card. Then when you make your rank 4 play, you can go into the Time Thief, you can bounce another card, and that way you don't really need to worry about the Bailings in the graveyard. And that's actually like the emphasis of playing this deck, I guess. The fact that you don't need to play around cards as much as in other decks. You can, like this build, the thing that I've noticed is if I can't make Kali Yuga, I just go on the grind game. And with the extra deck, how it is right now, it's actually easy to grind, and that's so nice. It's I feel like it's awesome. For synchros, I'm only playing the Allies Meteor Burst Dragon. I'm not playing anything else. No Borolo Savage Dragon in this build. No Dawn Dragsta. No Ignister. No Clearwing. Nothing. Like I just wanted the Allies Meteor Burst Dragon. In case I can't get to the Kali Yuga play, and that's the only thing that's important is the Kali Yuga play. Also against things like Altergeist and Sky Striker, this card is actually really good, I feel, so I think it's still great to have it in here. For the rest of the allies, the one Absolute Dragon, this is used to go into your Vortex, or when you're going first and you have your play to go into the Raging Dragon. As I said already a couple of times in previous videos, Raging over Rebellion. It's a scale 1, if it just happens to be destroyed by the Pancratops, you can scale it. So yeah, there's always that. Don't forget that you can do that. It's I tend to forget. So it is a play that is viable to the card. So like if they summon Pancratops and you didn't have enough protection, they are going to pop this. So you can just easily put it in your scale, have a scale 1, and be done with that. So also remember, it's a pendulum monster. So if you let it be destroyed, it goes to the extra deck. So yeah, there's always that. You can make this viably. Is that a correct word? I don't know. You can make this legit. Like if you summon Allies Meteor Burst Dragon during your play and you use it for a rank 7 play, you can you have the odd eyes. And when you attack, you just use its effect, or with any other monster, you don't care, and you special summon back the Allies Meteor Burst Dragon. If, in this scenario, you have the Janke Magician, where is it? Right here. In the scale, the Janke Magician can make the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon a level 7, so you can overlay them both into the Raging Dragon. It is a play that can be used, and at that point, if this card is destroyed, you can just Pendulum Summon it out every time over. And then you still have your possibilities for the rank up play later on in the match. It is just something that could be used, so just think about that. It's like, there are all possibilities, and I feel that this is really, really okay. Then of course, you're using the Raging Dragon to go into Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is just a nuts. It's a very cancerous play of playing Solitaire. Someone commented that on one of my videos. I liked the phrase. It is very cancerous. I think I've summoned it 5 times in the regional, 5 or 6 times. It won me every time the game, so yeah, I mean, it's nothing to say about that. Card is bunkers. Then for the other exceeds, I am playing 1 Time Star Magician. I feel it's really good in the grind game, and it has a, well, the built-in protection is also really fine, and it lets you extend your plays to go into a possible Boral Sword or a Boral Low Dragon. It's a really nice card, and it can trigger your Rusty Bardish because it's a Dark Exceed monster. So if you summon this next to the Bardish, you can pop a possible Black Fang, special summon something from the grave, and then use this card's effect to add back the Black Fang, getting an immediate +1 off of it. So there's always that kind of place, and it's a really good card, I feel, right now. And then to summon next to the Kali Yuga, we're having the Dweller and the Time Thief. They each have their respective uses, but I feel like both of them are really, really good, so yeah. That's it for the exceeds, and then we only have Link monsters left, so I believe 7 Link monsters. I think that in a build like this with the Kali Yuga, you are bound to play a lot of Link monsters because you need a couple for the combo already, and then you want some Link monsters for later on. It's only natural. 1 Electromite, this is like the most obvious choice. 1 Beat Cup, from the Underworld. The only reason this card is in the deck is because it's a generic Link 2, which happens to be dark, and it can be used with any 2 monsters, like any 2. It doesn't even matter if they are non-effect monsters or anything, just any 2 monsters. There's a little niche thing that you can tribute a monster to put a patrol counter on a card, and that way you can actually, if it's needed, you can put that counter on the Raging Dragon. So you can put it on the Raging Dragon, just in case you think that the opponent has Pancratops. So this actually is another kind of protection for the Pancratops. In case you can't make Deco Talker, or you had to make Deco Talker earlier, stuff like that. And it's actually fun to put a patrol counter on something. Like, you can just put it on anything. It's a mandatory effect to use a patrol counter as well, so you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna ditch it, doesn't matter. No, it's mandatory. You can put a patrol counter on your opponent's Bailings, for instance, which only has 500 attack, and then you can ram it over with 2 monsters, just for huge amounts of damage. So yeah. Next to this, I'm playing one more Link 2, the Underclock Taker. This is part of the standard combo. In a standard combo to make Kali Yuga, you just go into Underclock Taker, summon the Raging next to it, and then go with this and something else into the Bardish. I feel in general these 3 cards are really good in this kind of build for Pendulum, because they have the absolute maximum of use for anything that you want to do. The Underclock Taker has another use in dropping the opponent's monster's attack, which actually is viable when you're going second, and you just do the same combo as you would going first. But instead of summoning the Raging Dragon, you summon the Vortex Dragon. You get to bounce something, and then with the Underclock Taker, you get to pick one monster from the opponent that is going to lose 2500 attack. And after that, you can just, most of the time, you're going to attack for game. So that's actually really good. The one Deco Talker, most of the time you go into this with the boots, just because you want to have protection against Twin Twister, Pancratops, stuff like that. So yeah. Rusty Bardish as the second Link 3. It's obvious you need your PK engine to be live. And then for the last 2 slots, Boral Sword and Boral Load. This is to OTK, this is to out problematic boards. They both have their uses. In the regional, I actually used both of them excessively, which is actually fun. Also, if you're not sure you can OTK a Salamangreat player, and they still have the Bailings, and you don't want to make Boral Sword because you're like they have the Bailings to the grave, they can stop your attack, stuff like that. You can just make the Boral Load Dragon steal their monster instead. And that way the Bailings won't trigger, so there's always the option to do that as well. That was it for the extra deck. The way it is fabricated right now, I think it's actually going onto the grind game a lot. And you have the option to go into the Kali Yuga play, and that's what I like about it. And I just really like it right now. I think I said that a couple of times, but there's I'm probably gonna hear that in the comments section, so yeah. In any case, I do feel that the Kali Yuga build is really good right now. Right now again. And it's probably the first or second best build, I feel. Standard is also really good. And the Guard Dragon build is... it's up there. I don't really know how it should function yet, but the deck profile is gonna come up as well, and I'm gonna build it. The Orcus deck falls a bit short, I feel, so yeah, but we'll talk about that in their deck profiles. For side deck, triple Denko Sekka. The card is nuts against Sky Striker, against anything back row related, so yeah. Triple Pancratops, I do think you have to play this card right now. It just outs problematic floodgates when going second. It's just so easy. Putting this on the board, attacking over something, tributing it to pop something else, and that's 2 cards. So, triple Lava Golem. At the moment, there are different rarities. I am getting like 3 PGD first secrets, like this one. But yeah, Lava Golem is amazing. I've won, I think, 4 or 5 games just because of Lava Golem. Distributing the problematic monsters go from there. The last monster in the extra deck, Scarlet Red-Ragged Archfiend. Jokingly, no, I'm not gonna do it. This card is just for in time. You don't need to put anything around it. I'm not gonna stall or anything. I don't like that at all. But sometimes, like game 3, oh no, 3 minutes on the clock. No fucking way I'm gonna get to my battle phase. I have to do this if I want to win that game, and it's just another win condition. I'm not gonna stall anything for that, but it's just a way to win, and I feel it's so important right now, especially with so many people that are just, like in the early rounds, people are reading your cards and it takes forever, and even though your combo only takes 5 minutes because you know it as well as you do, it doesn't always go as simply as you want to, and this card just, it simplifies things so much, so I just like it to run this. That's already 10, and then the final 5 cards. At the moment, I'm going with triple evenly matched and double red reboot. You can swap these ratios around depending on your matchups, but I feel that evenly matched at 3 is more important than red reboot at 3, because if you're siding in the evenly matched, you actually want to see it turn 1. And if you want to see it turn 1, you need to play it at 3. I don't necessarily think you need red reboot at 3 because of that. You have Denko Sekka, you have triple Pancratops, you have your ways to get around back row. And the evenly matched, if you need it, you need to have it. And I think it's more important to have the evenly matched in that regard than to have the red reboot. So I just went for the evenly matched. That's it for the side, and by that, the entire deck. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about it, you can always ask me. I don't see a reason not to answer, I always do. But yeah, in general, the Kali Yuga build has been working fine for me. I like to play it. I'm more of a combo wombo guy, and the Kali Yuga build actually allows me to do that. If I'm just playing standard, it's getting a little bit boring pretty fast, I feel. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys liked it, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Ciao!